All right, let's get right into it. When we think about history's game changers, our minds usually jump to the big, loud inventions, like the printing press or the steam engine. But today, we're unpacking a quieter revolution, one that's way more personal. We're going to see how two small pieces of curved glass didn't just help us see better, they literally rebuilt the human mind, and in the process, paved the way for the modern world. I want you to just imagine a world where all your experience, all your skill, all your hard-earned wisdom, it all came with an expiration date. And that date wasn't set by your mind, but by your own eyes. Well, before the 13th century, that wasn't imagination. That was just reality for pretty much everyone.
Just think about the personal crisis here. You're a master scribe, maybe a goldsmith, a scholar. Your entire identity, your whole life's work, is built on seeing fine detail. And then, somewhere around 40, it starts to go. The letters you write, the gold you're shaping, it all just dissolves into a fog. And just like that, your career is over. Not because you lost your skill, but because you literally can't see your own hands at work anymore.
The culprit has a name, and you probably heard it. Presbyopia, basically old sight. Now, what's so wild about this is that it's not some rare disease. It's a totally universal part of aging. The lens in your eye just gets stiffer over time. For us today, it's a minor annoyance, right? You just go get some reading glasses. But back then, it was a biological shutdown notice. It was the end of the line for the most experienced, most valuable people in any skilled profession. But then, something happens. Out of the glass furnaces of Italy, a solution emerges. A piece of technology so profound, it would change how humanity saw the world. And more importantly, how it saw itself. This is where that quiet revolution really kicks off. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. We see little hints of it for centuries. You've got ancient artifacts like the Nimrud lens, and much later, these things called reading stones that wealthy monks used. But these were clunky. You had to hold them over the page. The real breakthrough, the moment everything changed, was around 1286 in Italy. That's when we see the first wearable, riveted spectacles. 2 lenses held in a frame you could actually put on your nose. All of a sudden, clear vision was portable. It was personal. Okay, so fast forward 2 centuries. Gutenberg invents the printing press. We all know that story, it's a big one. But here's the part that almost always gets left out. The printing press and eyeglasses were basically a team. They had this perfect symbiotic relationship. Honestly, one would have been kind of useless on a mass scale without the other. The press gave us the text, sure, but it was the lens that gave us the eyes to both produce and read all that text. I mean, really think about it. The whole printing industry created this new economy that was built on eye strain. You had typesetters hunched over, handling these tiny bits of metal for hours on end. You had proofreaders whose entire job was to spot the smallest errors. And then you had a whole new class of people, merchants, lawyers, scholars, who now had to read dense, small print documents for a living. All of this was literally impossible for anyone over 45 without glasses. So the press didn't just create a demand for books, it created a massive, essential economic demand for eyeglasses. So we've got the invention, but let's talk about the actual impact, because this is where it gets really staggering. This isn't just about a few people being able to read for longer. This is about a fundamental shift in the intellectual power of an entire civilization. So how big of a deal was this, really? Let's try and put a number on it. What did eyeglasses actually do for the workforce in Renaissance Europe? Well, the answer is kind of hard to believe. They added 20 to 30 years. And listen, that's not 20 to 30 years to a person's life. That's 20 to 30 years to their productive, high-skill working life. A master craftsman who would have been forced to retire at 45 could now keep doing precision work well into his 60s or 70s. This was a radical, unprecedented expansion of human capital. Look at it this way. Before spectacles, a skilled career was basically over by middle age. After spectacles, you just extended that career by more than half. So what does that actually mean? It means that society effectively doubled its number of experienced masters, the scientists, the artists, the engineers, the thinkers, almost overnight. It created this critical mass of senior-level genius that had never, ever existed before in human history. And this leads us to a whole new way of thinking about the lens. It wasn't just another gadget. It was the hidden infrastructure, the invisible foundation that made the entire modern intellect possible. The truth is, behind every famous leap forward of the Renaissance and the scientific revolution, there was an army of clear-eyed, experienced people making it happen. Behind the precision clocks, the detailed maps, the revolutionary diagrams of Galileo, All of it were master artisans and thinkers whose careers had been saved by a simple pair of spectacles. The lens was the silent, unsung partner in every great leap forward. And this gets to what is maybe the deepest truth in this whole story. Eyeglasses were, you could argue, the very first true form of human augmentation. Think about it. Step 1, you have a biological limit. Your eyesight is failing. Step 2, you apply a technological solution, the lens. Step 3, it integrates so perfectly onto your body you forget it's even there. And the result? You have consciously upgraded a human faculty. You have reconfigured yourself. This represents a massive psychological shift for humanity. For the first time, we were making a declaration. We were saying that our own biological decay wasn't some inevitable fate that we just had to suffer through. No, it was a technical problem, and we could engineer a solution. That mindset, that defiance of our own physical limits, is the very engine of all modern medicine and technology. So, after examining all the evidence, the history, the economic ripple effects, and that huge philosophical shift, it's time to deliver the final verdict on the historical importance of the lens. The verdict is this, and it's actually really simple. The lens wasn't just an accessory to history, it was a prerequisite. It allowed knowledge to stack up, for skills to be perfected over a full lifetime, and for genius to keep going. The whole intricate, detailed, data-driven world we live in today was built by generations of people who were given the profound gift of just being able to see their own work clearly. The printing press gave us the means to replicate thought. The lens gave us the capacity to form it, to refine it, and to sustain it against the relentless current of time. In the end, the story of the lens is the story of humanity's quiet, persistent refusal to let its vision dim. And in that defiance, we lit the fire of the modern world. You have been listening to the testimonial on the Empire of the Lens, how eyeglasses built the modern intellect. If you enjoyed this summary, for the full testimonial, please follow the link in the description or search for the testimonial on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media at The Testimonial for updates and to join the conversation. If you believe a topic deserves a testimony, let us know.